National Football League, they own the front page of the newspapers when it comes to sports. I mean, schedule drop is a thing. I mean, well, if you're a television network, like we said the other day, this is one of the most important things to television executives. Where are you going to see the primetime games? Where are you going to see the primetime logos? The number one television show in all of America is the NFL, and it is not close. No television show outshines pro football. Presidential debates, nothing. Academy Awards, nothing. It's insane that people wait to see when their favorite teams are going to play in prime time. Obviously, the Dallas Cowboys and the Kansas City Chiefs are the benchmark teams for the league. Most primetime games. Chiefs and Cowboys. Cowboys haven't been relevant in 30 years. Actually, the Cowboys are the most relevant team in American sports. Win or lose, that's when you know you got a brand. Win or lose, the Cowboys are the number one football story. It's incredible. Winning and losing has no impact on whether or not you watch Cowboy games. The Eagles, obviously, hey, Sills, we're a better franchise. Yeah, but you're not a more visible franchise. Is that relevant? To the NFL, it is. Get this. People will go and say, who cares? Television does. The NFL owners do. The owners are not paid on how many people go to Lincoln Financial. They're paid on TV. Paid on TV. Hit the like button. All supers go to the top. Schedule drop. Yes, sir, baby. I think it's amazing. Hey, by the way, how many people did this yesterday during the NBA playoffs? By the way, I'm watching the Celtics and Knicks. They kind of got me at the television set. Okay, so I'm actually watching this thing. Obviously, last night, Celtics with a great game last night without Jason Tatum. They end up forcing it back to New York and Madison Square Garden. Tell me that's not perfect for the NBA. NBA needs some goodwill and some good TV. Closing out the defending champions at Madison Square Garden for the Knicks to go into their first conference title game in 25 years is a good thing. It's good TV. NHL playoffs were great. Panthers and Maple Leafs I've been watching. How many people tuned it off, though, to actually see where your favorite teams were going to play and what time they were going to play and against who? I did. I tuned off the Celtics Knicks. I wanted to see what the Eagles schedule and the Bucks schedule and the teams in the NFC East look like. Yesterday, I did say 9-8. Book it, says Kyle. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you, my friend. Absolutely. Okay? Absolutely awesome. So, listen, man. We are definitely going to break down our takeaways on the Eagles schedule. Now, look, I do it a little bit different. First off, let's do this. Give me some thoughts right out of the gate on the 2025 Philadelphia Eagles schedule. I happen to think this is the toughest schedule the Eagles have played in probably 25 years. This is probably your toughest schedule in 25 years. Okay? With all the changes, new coordinator. Let me say this to you. I can only imagine. Same record as a year ago. No changes. Status quo. Because you think you have the same football team that you had on February 9th. What an absolute joke if you think that. Just because you won the Super Bowl, it has zero impact. Zero impact on who you're going to play this year. Zero impact. You don't have the same team. If you had the same team, we'd have a different conversation. Zero impact. Zero. Zero. No. Well, I sure hope it's not the same offense, Sue. 30th ranked shitty passing game. I sure hope it's better. You're going to need it to be better this year. Hey, Sugar Britches, you're going to need it to be a little better this coming year. How you doing? Oh, and by the way, Sue, you think having a lesser defense is going to impact the offense at all? Jeez. Tough it up, Sue. Come on, you're better than that. You're a sports talk person, Sue. You're not a chicken here. Toughen up. My takeaways, and as I said, we're going to take a look at the NFC East. And we'll also take a look at the Bucs as well. Okay? Stowe lost already, so that's not really that hard, is it? Over here, Sue. Follow along. We're talking about the upcoming 2025 schedule. And your dumbass still thinks you have the same team as February 9th. Do I have to go slower? Or is that good? Are we good? Where are we going, Sue? Yes, sir, baby. One of the absolutely best. Stills is on a different wavelength. Thank you. It's what makes me unique. Junior. Absolutely true. You think I think like you? Come on now, Abe. How you do it? Right? And here's one of my least favorite humans. Not true. Your dumbass must have forgot. We have Jalen Hurts at 10-11 on offense coming back on the shittiest passing team in football. Wait, the third shittiest passing team in football. I love that. You bet. Hey, what a running team. Bronco Nagurski, Larry Zonka, O.J. Simpson. All those players would be so proud to play for the 2025 Eagles. You don't need a passer. You just have to run the ball. I mean, really, Red Grange would be proud to play in this offense. Who wouldn't? That was a legendary running back. I mean, go back. Big Daddy Lincecum would love to play in this offense. Some of the greatest. Jim Brown would love this. You don't have to have a quarterback. All you have to have is a great O-line and run that bitch into the dirt. You don't need a good passer because you're the Eagles. And we're going to repeat. And we're going to win the same amount of games. Merrill Reese will join us at 4:30. Also, little programming note. Tomorrow, Phil Simms will join us. And also, I think we're going to put on our boy, Philly Godfather. He's got a book #1 right now on Amazon. And Big Sills is going to be in his movie. How you doing? How about Big Sills, a movie star? Back on the radio in Tampa. Legendary show here with JAKIB. A movie star? How you doing? I'm like a junior version of Rock now. How's that going? I got a role in a movie coming up. Crazy great. We may have lost guys, but we have players replacing them. Had valuable experience as well. Like who? Keely Ringo? Sidney Brown? Who? John Campbell? Trotter? What experience are you talking about on defense? Help me out here. I don't remember that experience. You don't have one guy replacing any guy that's left. That's better. Not one. How you doing? You better keep that energy with Merrill. No. No. I don't shit on my guests. That's why they come back, dog. Double agent? No. What am I going to do? Argue with Merrill Reese? Really? So Leon wants me to beat the shit out of my guests. And that's how they never come back. You want to know why people come on my program, Leon? Because I don't do exactly what you just do. I give people the forum to have their thoughts. Hey, yeah, let me beat up Merrill Reese so he'll never come on again. Great programming. And you stick the fan in, Big Sills will stick to programming. How you doing, right? All right? You know I love you, Leon. Double agent confirmed. Sills won't talk shit to Merrill. No, I won't. Sills, you definitely have roles in that movie. I think I'm playing like a mafia biker dude. Is that a stereotype? How you doing? All right. Okay. Oh, no, Elizabeth. It's the insults are their love for me. You see, anybody who insults Sills in here loves Big Sills. Don't look at it like that, Elizabeth. They come in here every day to throw their love at me. I love you, Big Sills. I love you, you dirty dog. I do, Sue. Absolutely, man. You kidding me? I couldn't get anywhere without you. Sills in leather pants is going to be hilarious. Yeah, you wait till you see Big Sills geared up. Hey, I'll tell you guys a real quick story before we get into the schedule, what I look at with the schedule. And we'll see how many people have meltdowns. And please do me a favor. When I go over the schedule, no crying, especially from guys like Senor. I don't want to see any crying, or I don't want to see any guy hates us. I don't want any crying. Okay? No crying. Promise me. Now you'll break that promise. So I don't know where I got this Hells Angels jacket from. There's a rumor that I was a member back in the day, which isn't true. I happen to have, that's not true. But I did have a Hells Angels jacket. And so I showed up to a press conference wearing a Hells Angels jacket in college. And Jimmy's like, really? And I go, yeah. Yeah. He goes, really? Jerome looked at me and went, really? I went, yeah. I think it adds to the image. Really? Yeah. Yes. All right, let's get into this bad puppy. Why, is your mom in here? Oh. All right. Here we go. So what did I get for records? What do you guys see for records? So as you know, I'm going to give you shit all love. Hey, come on, Leon. You don't do that, man. You know better than that. You know I love you, man. I mean that. You think I throw that word around? Highly unlikely. Well, let me put this out there to you guys. When I say I love you guys and I really need you guys, you know how many people I must have said that to in my life? 7. Elizabeth shouldn't be watching General Hospital by now. Wow. Oh, man. Elizabeth getting some heat from Prince. Hey, Prince has been going after everybody lately, man. Gonna have to squash this bug. Okay, look at this, 17-0. There's Shit's 23. Here we go. Look at this. Look at Shit Stain 23. 17-0. Look at Neil, 20-0, baby. Look at this here, 12-5. Not bad. That's probably in the room. There you go. Let's see. Yeah. Good, Prince. You know I love you, man. Yeah. Did Big Sills give his early prediction on our beloved Birds? Hey, Chip. Or what is it, Sip or Simp? Is it M Simp 41? Sorry, as you said, I can't read. So I'm going to call you Simp. Hey, Simp 41. I'm going to do it officially here a little bit. What was this here? Sills in a good mood today. How could you tell? How could you tell? Look at these records, man. 12-5. Holy cow. Last time I saw Mr. Reese was in an elevator in the vet. That or Mr. Toes and Mr. Reese and some guy with NFL film, Steve Sable. That ain't some guy. Okay? Prince, go sit in the corner and go back watching Playhouse Disney. There you go, Elizabeth. Somebody's protecting you there. All right. Now, do you guys promise me one thing today? Say you promise. No tears. Okay? No tears today. Say you promise that there'll be no tears when I read my predictions. Okay? Oh, I got a promise from Leon. Look at this. Chris, promise. All right. I think you guys, hey, you guys are from Philly. You're lying. See, at least there's one guy from Philly not lying. Hey, Philly. Yes, Sills. Yeah, go ahead. Oh, my God. Hey, by the way, real quick, LJ, I'm hearing that you have probably 30 more days left of internet access after Elon and Trump are going to shut down Canada. So pretty soon you'll be talking like, with cups to each other from like Saskatchewan to Regina, not vagina. You guys will be talking in cups with strings on them. Hey, you got that igloo, Bill? Not yet. Hey, do you have that igloo built? Almost. Okay, listen. Make sure you leave a little piece of ice out there so we can ice fish. Got it. Okay. Oh, yeah. How you doing? Yeah, they're shutting Canada down. They're all, hey, Bob. Couldn't hear me, Bob. Are you over there in Manitoba? Oh, okay. No, you're in Ontario. Oh, okay. Yeah. You hear me? Nah, man, it don't come through the igloo. Here we go. The 2025 Big Sills prediction for how I see on May 15th the fortunes of the Philadelphia Eagles. Enough of the downer. What's your win prediction? Sit down and don't worry. Don't get your panties in a bind, Junior. Junior Taylor, sit down. Don't worry about it, kid. Calm yourself down, son. I'll send you to the principal's office. Relax here. I told you, no crying. Okay? Prince, this ought to be halfway decent, or it could be a train wreck. Kyle, a.k.a. Left Nut. You just lost TV privileges for the week. Actions have consequences, my dude. Now go reflect on your decision in silence, like a grounded testicle. That's actually pretty good. That's actually, I don't know. Hey, Prince, seriously, who's writing your stuff now? Jackie the Joke Man? Come on, dude. Who's writing your shit now for you? Because you're not that smart, guy. And the 4 years I've been doing this, you're not that smart. You must have Jackie the Joke Man writing this shit for you because you're just not that good. Now, all of a sudden, you're starting to come up with these liners here like your Bumper. And Bumper, he's got some good stuff, but I don't know where you're coming from with this stuff. I got to get to this, man. Hang on here. I've dragged this shit out enough here. Let's go. Okay. By the way, no crying. Sit down. Relax. Yeah, you too, M. Reyes. M. Reyes is the only person that stands for 4 hours and watches my show. Because sitting down would, probably excite him too much. So he has to watch the show standing up. Yeah. All right, here we go. Here is the Big Sil's predictions. I can't look at this guy anymore. Let me get out of here. Hang on here. Let me get that guy. I can't see Prince's name. Makes me vomit. You too, M. Reyes. By the way, all supers go to the top. It's the only way you can distract me. I'm like a bass in a pond. So when I'm talking and you send supers, you throw me off a little bit. How much of those shares in Canada? 20 cents a dollar? No, dude. Remember something. Canadian money is worth 5% of what the American dollar's worth. So you'd have to, if you wanted to buy the Big Sills show, you'd have to pay like at least $600 in Canadian money. And if you're in America, it's probably $5. And that's the way things work in Canada. Inflation. Thank you, Kyle. Hit the like button, my good friends. All right, here we go. This is going to be the prediction of predictions here. All right? All right. Number one, Dallas Cowboys. They open the season for the Philadelphia Eagles. I have the Eagles winning this game to make them 1-0. 1-0. I think the Cowboys are going to need some time to figure out what they are and who they are. See, the only side of the football that has to figure out for Philly who they are is the defense. And they have just too much talent offense early in the season that they're going to be able to weather it. And I'm going to make a prediction on your football team this year. Is there going to be some similarities between 2023 or 2024? I'll explain. Chiefs away. It's funny. When I hear everybody, Xander, everybody, it seems everybody's taking a step back but Philly. The question would be in Kansas City, you may take a step back, but you still have Mahomes. Okay? You still have Mahomes. And Mahomes keeps you in every football game you will play. I have them winning that game, Kansas City. That makes, so far after week 2, the Eagles 1-1. The Rams at home, Lincoln Financial. I think the Rams have to prove to me that they can hang up when it comes to toughness. I thought they played exceptionally well in that playoff game. That was as well as they could play. And it still wasn't enough. Now, the Eagle defense is clearly not the same. But I still have the Rams having to prove to me that they can consistently be a tough team. And I have the Eagles 2-1. I think they're a better team. And I think until the Rams show me, I've got them winning this ball game. And that runs the record to 2-1. Week 4, Tampa. It's going to be in September. Last time you went down there, you surrendered. We didn't have AJ. We didn't have Devontae. What was your excuses for your shitty defensive play? Some of those guys like Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis didn't even want to get off the bus. It was embarrassing. You got the same stuff going on down there again. The Bucs got better. Hey, and by the way, kid, welcome to the NFL. Every team loses players. That's not an excuse. We didn't have. So what? So what? You don't get that excuse. It's part of the narrative on how you win a Super Bowl. Oh, by the way, every time Xander goes like this, it says to me, you put that much credit into Isaiah Rodgers? Yeah, because when you have guys like Fred Johnson who can step in and be productive players while you have injuries and you're allowed to get through the war of attrition, that right then in a nutshell is how important your backups are on winning, especially when you're playing a schedule like this. Yes, backups are going to be. Let me ask you this. How important do you think backups are going to be with a schedule like this year? Let me guess. Nothing. Nothing, right? Nothing. The backups will mean nothing. I got the Bucs winning this game. By the way, I don't see where the Eagles get killed in any game. Here's what I think is going to happen this year. You're going to win games you're supposed to win, but you're also going to lose games you're supposed to win until that defense can show us. So after Tampa, I've got you sitting at 2-2. Denver. As much as I love that Denver Broncos defense, I am not sitting here telling you that Bo Nix is going to run Denver into Lincoln Financial and beat the Eagles with that offensive personnel. No way. That game, they'll be good defensively for about 2 quarters. And if the Philadelphia defense is not in shape at that time and playing well, Denver's going to move the ball. But I just can't sit here and say to you that the Denver Broncos are going to roll into Lincoln Financial and win that ball game. Not a chance in hell. So I've got them beating Denver, and that's 3-2. Week 6, the Giants away at the Meadowlands. I don't know what the Giants, Russell Wilson, Jackson Dart, and the pizza guy who's running the ball. Shitty O-line. Malik Neighbors is a good ball player. Their defense is not horrible. They got, how about this? In my opinion, they got a better front four than the Eagles do. Just better players. Burns, Lawrence, Thibodeau. They're more established players. And then they add Abdul Carter. They're light in the linebacker play. I think they're not bad at safety. but I got them crushing the Giants. That's 4-2. Week 7, Minnesota Vikings. Away. Tough place. Dome. Eagles don't have troubles playing. And you know why the Eagles don't have a tough time playing on turf or inside? Because they're not a passing team. Environment doesn't have to be great to throw the ball. It's another advantage on running it. You understand that? You never know what you're going to get with Minnesota weather. And I'll say it one more time with you. You know, one of the biggest home field advantages in the history of the National Football League was taken away from a team was the Minnesota Vikings when they put a top on their stadium. Instead of playing in the environment that the old Metropolitan Stadium used to have, where you used to have to go up there in November and it was 47 degrees below zero, and teams from Miami could not handle that, you absolutely took a home field advantage away. You make it conducive for the Bucs so that your opposing team can't take advantage of the weather in Minneapolis? I mean, you ever wonder why there's no roof on in Tampa or Miami? Because they want to take advantage of the humidity. Or in Buffalo. No dome in those places. It's a stupid move by Minnesota. Get this. Minnesota went to 4 Super Bowls. They haven't been back to one since they moved indoors. Do you know that? They have not been to a Super Bowl since they moved indoors. And they went to 4. All you need to know. I've got them in week 7 against Minnesota. I'm sorry, man. J.J. McCarthy or whomever. I don't see it. I got them going up there. I think it'll be a competitive game. That's 5-2. Number 8. This is at home. Giants have to travel down 95 to play the Eagles. Unless they get an injection of being good, they're going to sweep the Giants this year. I mean, the Giants will probably be picking in the top 5 next April and how bad that roster is. I think they got a good front four, and I think they'll hang in there. But I think that old line will end up wearing them out. I got you at 6-2 heading into the bye. Coming out of the bye. Green Bay, away at Lambeau. They draft a receiver. I thought they needed to draft an interior lineman on either side to help their team. They need to get better in the O and D lines. Getting better on the perimeter for Jordan Love. You're going against every single fundamental that made the Green Bay Packers a great team. They hadn't drafted a guy in the first round in 40 years. Or maybe that kid they got from North Dakota State was a first rounder. But Devontae Adams was a second round draft pick. I mean, they need O-line and D-line help. I think Philadelphia rolls in there. And by the way, if I'm Philly, I hope it's snowing. That helps my running attack. Dude, anytime it's bad weather, that's not going to hurt Philly. Why? You're built for weather. Bad weather. Raining. Snow. Sleet. If you were a passing team, it'd be a different conference. Cincinnati's not built for weather. Baltimore's built for weather. The Eagles are built for any condition. Inside, outside. Why? Because you run the ball. I don't see how Green Bay stops you. I got 7-2. Detroit. This is where it starts to get a little dicey here. This is where I think that defense now starts to get a little bit, and unlike last year, I think that defense is going to be not as bad as 23, but I think it's going to take more time this year, and that's a prediction, than it did a year ago. I think Detroit wins this ball game. 7-3. Number 12. And week 12. Away. Cowboys. I think the Cowboys get better by week 12. And I think they're playing better football. And I think they win this ball game. 8-3. Excuse me. 7-4. Week 13, Chicago. Chicago has added a lot of good players. But the question will be, does Caleb Williams have a running attack that can help play action with all the players that they have added? Okay? I still don't see it. It's a good group of young and veteran talented players. But I just don't see Chicago yet. How about this? I think Chicago has a shot to have a winning record. But we're talking about one of the upper tier teams. There's like 4 of them, 5 of them. And I don't think they're up there. I think they're ascending. And I think they're getting better. Better to beat them? No way. 8-4. By the way, week 13, you're sitting at 8-4. Your defense is getting experience. You dropped a game that you shouldn't have dropped. Possibly the Detroit game and the Cowboy game you shouldn't have dropped. And that's going to come with the experience that you're gaining by playing all these young players. So you're sitting at 8-4. Heading into the Charger game. This is out in Los Angeles. I think Justin Herbert and the Chargers are going to give the Kansas City Chiefs every bit of struggle to win that AFC West. I just look at their running attack and go, and they were really good a year ago. Jim Harbaugh is a big fan of running the football. Their defense, no Joey Bosa on it any longer. They brought Khalil Mack back. I love Derwin James. I think it'll be a tight ball game. And I think the rosters, especially the Charger rosters, getting better. Not good enough. I think the Philadelphia Eagles win this game, run their record to 9-4. You're heading into the Raider game. I don't know what the Raiders are going to do this year. I mean, Geno Smith. Wow. Geno is a fine ball player. A good one? All right. A great one? No. Who's running the ball for them? The one bad thing that the Raiders have never done well, and it used to be a benchmark of that franchise, they can't get people on the ground in the secondary. They just can't get anybody on the ground. So I got the Eagles winning, sitting at 10-4. Ahead into Washington, week 16. I think the Washington Redskins / Commanders are going to take a step up and continue to get better. Why? Quarterback? Get this. Every single coordinator's back. They've added players to the team to help the quarterback, and yet he's going to fuck up and make a step back when they've improved everywhere. Another year in the same system, another year with Dan Quinn and Cliff Kingsbury. If you're telling me Detroit is going to take a step back because the coordinators are not there, I'm telling you the Commanders are going to take a step up because the Commanders still have their coordinators. They win this game. 10-5. Then they head to Buffalo. Second to the last week of the season. Josh Allen. Last time he played against him, he had 500 total yards. And he'll do it again against a lesser defense. I think they handily handle the Eagles in Buffalo. 10-6. Washington at home. I think they take care of business here. And they win. And they finish 11-6. And in second place, I think. I'll have to look at Washington's schedule. I haven't looked at it yet. I've got them at 11-6. Why? I don't think they're duplicating what they did a year ago defensively. I do not believe they're going to get better by the end of the year. I don't. Not quite the 23 meltdown, but I don't believe it. You're going to act like every other football team. That was an anomaly. If 23 was an anomaly, that was as well. Not having it. I am sitting at 11-6. I'm not going to say they're going to be poor, but I'm not going to sit here and I'm not going to bend off because of what Vic did. And by the way, Vic's been in the league 50 years. This guy's got one Super Bowl. Calm down about calling him one of the greatest coordinators of all time. This guy's got one Super Bowl. Shit, Todd Bowles has one. 6 losses, your ass still has not learned. Okay. And you still think you're the same team you are on February 9th. I'm not debating that. If you had the same team, Anthony, I'm not going to make you feel better about yourself. But if you had the same defensive unit, or at least half those players back, it'd be a different conversation. But you don't. And the players you replace them with are not as good as a unit. Even the backups. From the starters to the backups. Not one of them. You don't have, Trotter's not better than Burks. Keely Ringo's not better, or Dory Jackson's not better than Darius Slay. All up the front. Still, Isaiah, you're going to need the war of attrition and a depth and a deep football team to win with this schedule. Now, by the way, 11-6 with that schedule, the best schedule in football. If you played last year's schedule with the group you have now, you'll probably be 13-4. You're playing better teams. And you have a lesser team. Common sense. Nobody in their right mind would sit here and say today, you have a better or comparable football team to last year? Nobody. Unless you're a homer or unless you're bullshitting yourselves. $11-6, agreed. Too many fans are hung up on potential and not right. All you have is guesswork. And until you prove it, that's all it is. Well, how do you know? I don't know. Well, the other teams have lost. The other teams just didn't come off of a Super Bowl win and take out half the roster. Shit. Even Howie Roseman has addressed this. Only people not listening are their fans. $11-6. Get this. Listen to this. He thinks we're smarter and younger. So how do you think inexperienced players are smarter than a guy who played 10 years in this league like Slay? So you think Keely Ringo is younger and smarter than Darius Slay, and that's going to give you the ability to cover that position. Is that right? Or like the Georgia linebacker kid is going to be able to step in, having never played a down in his life, like Cooper DeJean did. Okay. Guys, I'm not going to debate these dumb conversations about people who don't even own a helmet yet. Oh, wait, they own a helmet. They don't own shoulder pads yet. I'm not having a debate with rookies who don't even own shoulder pads yet. I mean, these guys don't even own shoulder pads. And look at M. Reyes. Slay sucks now. Oh, well, we'll find out. Keely Ringo couldn't get on the field a year ago, but now all of a sudden he's a great football player, according to M. Reyes. Or Adoree Jackson, who was whacked by the Giants and was a free agent. And it was a third-day sign. He's great. Sure, okay. 7,000 teams had a shot to vie for his services, and nobody wanted him but the Eagles. What'd they sign him for? $1 million? I don't even know if they signed him for that. All you got to do is look at the money. I mean, this is hilarious. This is great. I love it. So hang on here. Let's do this. So let's go over now and take a look at the Bucks. But for the record, just because I got the Eagles being beat by the Bucks, do I think they're a better team? I don't. Good teams lose to everybody. You were demolished by the Buccaneers last year. You were demolished by them. You barely hung on to beat Carolina. You barely hung on to beat Jacksonville. I mean, teams play good certain weeks. So here, let's take a look at the Bucks. Now, the Bucks play a lesser schedule than you. Does that mean they're a better team? No. So whatever their record is, here's a team that I'm picking that potentially could win home field advantage. Island of misfit defenses. Absolutely true. Here we go. Week 1, Tennessee. That's a win. Week 2, the Steelers. Mason Rudolph. Until we get an update, if Aaron Rodgers is playing in Pittsburgh, that's a Bucks win. Mason Rudolph, that's a Bucks win. Bills, week 3. That's a loss. Falcons. That's actually, wait a minute here. I got to take a look at this here because I think I did some. It's preseason. Let me get going here on this. Hang on. Let me read Anthony's. We'll go back. The team will be 13-4. Of course it will be. They will lose to Tampa, Bills, Lions, Commanders. You're banking on the other teams to develop, but saying our young guys won't. No. I'm looking at the schedule and the amount of attrition you guys have to play week in and week out, good teams and great rosters. What Anthony's telling you is if you guys are consistently playing on a week-to-week basis like you do in the Southeastern Conference, when you're playing great teams back-to-back, that the war of attrition is not going to hurt you at all when you get breaks in other schedules with other teams with lesser competition. He thinks that is equal. How is that equal? If I play a lesser schedule than you on a week-to-week basis, how are you looking at it the same way? How are you looking at it the same way? Okay, here's week 1, Atlanta for the Bucks. Michael Penix? No way. I got the Bucks winning. Houston. I got the Texans winning that game. The Jets. Looking right out of the gate. According to Anthony, you're playing the Cowboys, Chiefs, the Rams, and the Bucks. Here's who the Buccaneers are playing. The Falcons, the Texans, and the Jets. I mean, there's 2-1. And you get Philly at home, 3-1. You play Seattle. Now that's away. I think that's a loss. That's 3-2. We're going to do the NFC East here in a minute. I think they're going to beat the 49ers. That's 4-2. At home, too. Then they got the Lions. In Detroit. They went up there and beat them last time. I think they dropped that game. That's 4-3. Then they got the Saints. I don't even know who's quarterback in that team. Might be the worst quarterback room in football. So that's 5-3. Heading into their week 9 bye. Coming out, the Patriots. That's 6-3. Then they got the Bills away in Buffalo. That's 6-4. Then they got the Rams away. I'm going to take the Rams in that. They're 6-5. They've got the Cardinals, November 30th. That's 7-5. The Saints, December 7th. That's 8-5. The Falcons, that's 9-5. The Panthers, that's 10-5. The Dolphins, I don't believe in Miami. That's 11-5. Then they got the Panthers. I think they dropped that game. And I got them. I got the Buccaneers at 11-7 or 11-6 too. Difference will be head-to-head. I don't think there's going to be a team in the NFC outside of Detroit, maybe. But Detroit plays in the North. Folks, I think 11 or 12 wins might actually win home field. Okay? I think it might just win home field. And can you imagine this? If you won home field at 11-6 and got your team to the NFC Championship game like you did a year ago, in a retooling year, it'd be one of the greatest years in Philadelphia Eagle history. In a retool. Remember, once you get to the postseason, like it did a year ago, it didn't matter. If somebody gets upset, Detroit got upset. You weren't going to host home field. You didn't win home field. I don't believe the Panthers are going to sweep the Bucs. I do not. I think the Panthers are going to be an improved football team. I think they're putting some talent around it. Let me take a look at this now. Guys, do me a favor. Please hit the like button. Let's take a look at Washington here. And go down Washington. And take a look at their games. By the way, guys, please hit the like button. I appreciate you. Xander will join us at 3:30. And also, Merrill Reese will join us at 4:30. And Leon wants me to kick the shit out of Merrill Reese. Love you, brother. All right. Here's the Washington Commanders. New York Giants, week 1, they win that. The Packers, they win that. The Raiders, they win that. The Falcons, they win that. That's 4-0. The Chargers, away. I think they dropped that. Week 6, Chicago. I think they win that. The Cowboys. I think they win that. 6-1. Kansas City. I think KC wins that. 6-2. Seattle at home. I think Washington wins that. They're 7-2. Week 10, Detroit. They destroyed them. I think they get their revenge, Detroit. That's 7-3. The Dolphins. It's an international game. I think they crush the Dolphins. That's 8-3. They get the bye week 12. They got the Broncos. At home, they win that. That's 9-3. The Vikings. I'm going to give Minnesota that one. It's 9-4. The Giants after that, that's 10-4. The Eagles. They win that one. That's 11-4. I think they lose that Cowboy game. 11-5. And I think they lose that last Eagle game. 11-6. I got them at 11-6 also. Now let's take a look at the Cowboys. My point is that the Eagles may have taken a couple steps back, but the rest of the NFC, how much have they taken a step up? You do not have the same team. I'm not going to debate that any longer. I'm done with that. Anyone who wants to, I have no issue. I have no comment any longer on it. There's just no comment on it. There's just not. So the Cowboys schedule. Here we go. Here's the Cowboys. What do you think the Cowboys record of? What do you think of the Cowboys? By the way, I just did 3 teams at 11-6. Somebody's going to be 12-5 or 13 wins because of the war of attrition. Somebody's going to be in there. I think there's going to be one game that's going to determine home field advantage on everybody's schedule this year. You're not that far and away better than anybody in the league any longer because of what happened in free agency. You're not that far ahead. You are on one side of the ball, but you're a one-dimensional football team. Oh, I forgot. You take Hurts out when you want to. Oh, wait, you don't do that. That's not what you guys are saying. Even though you say he can play well when needed. I don't know what the difference is. It's kind of crazy. It's the same thing. Here's the Cowboys. 0-1 versus the Eagles. 1-1. It beat the Giants. I think they lose to Green Bay. They're 1-2. They're not better than Green Bay. But check it out. Boy, I'll tell you something, man. Make no mistake about it. The NFL, they want the Cowboys in the postseason. Boy, do they want the Cowboys in the postseason. Get a load of this bullshit. Okay, so you're 1-2 because you're going to lose the. Then you got the Jets. So you're 2-2. Then you got the freaking Panthers. You're 3-2. Then you got Washington. You got Washington at home. I'll give you one of the wins. They're not sweeping you. I don't believe. Then you've got Denver. You're 4-3. I don't believe you're beating Denver. I do believe at home you'll beat Arizona. That's 5-3. Then you got a bye. So you hit the bye at 5-3. Raiders, you win that. You're 6-3 out of the bye. Then you got the Eagles. I think they win this game. That's 7-3. I think they turn around the following Thursday and they lose to Kansas City. That's 7-4. I think they lose to the Lions. They're 7-5. I think they beat Minnesota. That's 8-5. They lose to the Chargers. That's 8-6. And I think they lose to Washington. That's 8-7. And I think they beat New York. That's 9-8. I don't know if that's good enough to get in the playoffs. Because there's going to be a ton of teams, in my opinion, that are going to be like in that room, 9-8, 10-6, 11 wins, 12 wins, maybe a 13. I don't believe there's going to be a dominant football team this year in the NFC. I think there's going to be a lot of good football teams. A lot of good football teams are playing in the North. So let's look at the Giants. Let's look at the New York Giants. I think they've done a nice job. But again, their question mark is going to be what the quarterback position looks like. So here's the Giants now. I mean, can Russell Wilson really can Russell Wilson really carry the football team, or are you going to see Jackson Dart by the end of the year? So here are the Giants. Week 1, Commanders. That's an L. Cowboys. That's an L. Chiefs. That's an L. The Chargers. That's an L. The Saints. That's a win. So by week 5, the New York Giants are 1-4. Then you got the Eagles in week 6. That's 1-5. Then you got the Broncos. No way. That's 1-6. Then you got the Eagles again. That's 1-7. Then you got the 49ers. That's 1-8. Then you got the Bears. That's 1-9. Then you've got the Packers. That's 1-10. Then you've got the Lions. That's 1-11. Week 13, you got the Patriots. Shit, I'm feeling sorry for you. 2-11. I mean, look at the gauntlet. You're talking about gauntlet for a shitty team. Nobody is being friendly to the New York Giants here, I'll tell you that. Then you got the Commanders coming out of the bye. That's 2-12. Then you got the Vikings. Shit, I'm starting to feel a little sad for these guys. That's 2-13. The Raiders. Hey, I'm feeling very generous here. So I've got to, I mean, seriously, man. I got to call social services on the Giants because they're getting beaten. That's 3-13. And they're going to lose to the Cowboys. They're a 3-14 team. The Giants are going to pick number 1 in the draft. And they're going to get Arch Manning. That's right. Get this. Wait a minute. They just took Jackson Dart. You drafted a player that you know in your heart is not a legitimate first-round guy. Knowing full well you weren't going to win a ton of games this year, and that Arch Manning's in there, and you're not going to win. This is totally a giant scenario. Right here, they pick a lesser guy like Dimes Jones, knowing full well they weren't going to win a ton of games this year. And then they're going to turn around and miss out on Arch Manning because they took the guy previous year who was a 4th rounder, 3rd rounder at best. Total Giants. There's no way Howie Roseman would have drafted Jackson Dart knowing the personnel on the team right now. No way. And there's a bet. I would rather have the kid from Penn State than the kid from Ole Miss. Wouldn't you? That Drew Allar kid. I'd rather have him. Total Giants. Were they really, say you put Jackson Dart in, you're still going to win. You're still going to win between 3 and 5 games. Man, The Giants are going nowhere. They have set this general manager, Joe Schoen, has set this franchise back 10 years. Get this. He's projected to be the second pick in the draft. I don't know what you're talking about. Man, the Giants are not going to win a lot of games, and they got a first-round kid in their group. And when you're looking at Jackson Dart, are you really going, wow, that kid is some ball player? Man, I can't believe it. Hey, okay. What John said it? Maybe he does turn out. I don't know. I just don't know. So let me take a look at the Rams. Guys, let me show you something that's really great about, and this is a great comment about the Eagles. Dude, the Eagles, they whacked all those players off their defense, and they're still in the room. And they're still in the room. Howie Roseman did you a favor. You may have taken a couple steps back, but you're not out of the room. Look at what the Bucs and the Rams did after they won their Super Bowls. I'm not even sure they made the playoffs like the following year, or they had a winning. I think the Buccaneers had like a 7-9 record, Brady's last year. The Rams had a losing record, right? The year after the Super Bowl win. That's not going to be the case here. That's just not going to be the case. Let me take a look at the Rams. All right, here are the Rams. I don't want this one. Why in the world would they segment it like that? Stupid, absolute, dumb Ram stuff. Here we go. Okay, here we go. September 7th, Texans at home. What a tough open. I'm going to say they win that. No. I think the Texans are really good. I think the Texans have a shot to be really great. Only one that's saying we were out of the building is you, though. Anyway, let's go. Hey, appreciate it. Thank you for the super chat. Titans. 1-1. Eagles. I think the Eagles beat them. That's 1-2. I think they beat the Colts. That's 2-2. I think they beat the Niners. That's 3-2. At the Ravens. Wow. At the Ravens. I think they dropped that. That's 3-3. They beat the Jags. That's 4-3. They got a bye in week 8. They beat the Saints. That's 5-3. And whatever reason, I'm going to say they sweep the Niners. He owns them. He owns Kyle Shanahan. That's 6-3. I think they struggle every single time they go to Seattle. But this one's at home. And I think the Rams win this one at home. So that makes them 7-3. I think the Rams beat the Bucs. Said it earlier. They beat the Panthers. That's 9-3. They beat the Cardinals. That's 10-3. They lose to the Lions. That's 10-4. They lose to Seattle. That's 10-5. In Seattle. They beat the Falcons. That's 11-5. And I say the Cardinals turn around and beat them. And that's 11-6. Don't be pissing my super chat off. You must ain't take your medicine today. Thanks for the super chat, bro. Let's see here. So once again, here's another team for me sitting around the 11-6 number. Okay? Now look, like I said, it's going to come down to depth. All these teams look like they're going to be in the same room. Let's do the Lions. It's good. Okay. Look at this. See, you got the Rams at 12-5. That could be. You got the Eagles potentially at 12 wins, 12-5. Okay. That could be. We're talking about the NFC being pretty competitive this year. You're missing the point. See, when all of you are sitting here saying these teams are taking steps back, and you're not seeing clear. I'm giving them the benefit too. That I'm giving you the benefit of. Bro, to sit here and lose all that personnel and to still have an offensive unit like Philly, that offensive unit is going to have to be a dynamic group this year on both sides of the ball. That could be, senor. That could totally be. I like that. Let's take a look at Detroit. Here's Detroit. Boy, what a tough open. What a tough open. You got Green Bay. And it's in Lambeau. I'm going to say the Lions win that. You got Chicago. They're going to be 2-0. They got the Ravens in week 3. I'm going to say the Ravens win that. I believe it's a Monday Night Football game. They're 2-1. They're going to kill the Browns. That's 3-1. What do you guys got with this one? Lions and Broncos in week 5. Lions, no, not Lions and Broncos. Excuse me. Lions and Bengals. Excuse me. Lions and Bengals. I mean, I got the Bengals winning that. 3-2. Kansas City. Jared Goff owns Patrick Mahomes. But it's at Arrowhead. It's an NBC Sunday night game. I'm going to take the Lions. 4-2. The Bucks in week 7. I got the Bucks winning that. That's 4-3. They get a bye in week 8. Minnesota, they win that. That's 5-3. Washington, wow. I think they beat Washington. 6-3. Get revenge from last year. I said it earlier. The Eagles. I think they beat the Eagles. That's 7-3. You got the Giants. It's 8-3. I think they dropped this Green Bay game. I'm not going to sweep the Packers. 8-4. They beat the Cowboys. That's 9-5. Oh, excuse me, 9-4. Did I say the Rams beat the Lions? Did I say the Rams beat the Lions? I think the Lions beat them. 10-4. I think they beat the Steelers. That's 11-4. I think they dropped that Minnesota game. That's 11-5. And I think they dropped that Chicago game. That's 11-6. I mean, look at what the Eagles did. You have to understand something here. Yes, these other teams got better. But Philly dumped all those players. And they're still hanging out with you. And they have a better offense. I don't know if they have a better offense than Detroit. Maybe by a tick because of the line. And that could be the equalizer. Okay? And by the way, you see this? I think the NFL designs it this way. With free agency, salary caps. I'm trying. Give me a team. Here, let me show you something here. Who's got the easiest schedule? That's a good team. Let's do Buffalo. Because I think Buffalo has an easy schedule. It's like, I'm going to show you something here. Here's the Buffalo Bills. I think they have like the 16th easiest schedule. Or hard, excuse me. By the way, I thought that thing with Allen Iverson was absolutely dope. Okay. So who gets the 4 seeds in the NFC? Team with the deepest rosters. Here's Buffalo. Play Baltimore. At home. I'm going to take Baltimore. The Jets. It's 1-1. Miami. That's 2-1. New Orleans. That's 3-1. New England. That's 4-1. Atlanta. That's 5-1. Carolina. That's 6-1. KC. 6-2. Miami, that's 7-2. Tampa, 7-3. Houston, 7-4. Pittsburgh, 8-4. Cincinnati, at home, I'm going to take the Bills. That's 9-4. Then you got New England. That's 10-4. Then you got Cleveland. That's 11-4. Then you got Philly. I'm saying they're winning up there. That's 12-4. You got the Jets. That's 13-4. Could it be 12, 11, 2-13? Sure. Depending on what injuries. Absolutely. Bills are going to win a shitload of ball games this year. Why? They play in the NFC East. Excuse me. They play in the AFC East. There's no good teams in the AFC East. Maybe the shitty Dolphins. I mean, get this. I mean, you're going to start the season. You could start the season out 8-0. And if, hey, guys, help me out on this. Did that team make the AFC Championship game last year? How did that team who made the AFC Championship game, did they make did the Bills make it to the AFC title game? Get this. This guy thinks somebody's glazing the Bills because they play a shitty schedule. Hey, ding dong. Look who they're playing, jackass. So the Bills made the AFC title game, and they got a schedule like that. Like I said, because you got numbnuts like that, get this. This is who they start with. Ravens, okay. Then the Jets, the Dolphins, the Saints, New England, the Falcons, Carolina, Miami. That's who they start the season with. He's glazing the Bills. Guy, take a knee. Honest to God, take a knee. Holy cow. That's some schedule. You know why? They want to promote Josh Allen. So they don't want to make sure that the schedule is too difficult. Let's take a look at Kansas City, for instance, here. Let's see what Kansas. Dude, these are all the golden childs of. Wait a minute. I got one. Let's look at the Bengals and see what the Bengals have here. Because they want to they want Joe Burrow in the playoffs. They want Joe Burrow not in the playoffs. It's all about TV stars. Remember, for the NFL, this is what this is about. So here's the Bengals. And here's their schedule. Boy, dude, if I'm the Eagles and I look at that schedule and I turn around and look at the Bills, as a matter of fact, let's take a look at Kansas City's first. Because Kansas City was in the Super Bowl with the Eagles. And their schedule better be just as difficult, if not more. Or guess what? You could have a bitch here about something here. And then next week they're going to take the tush push away. Holy shit, man. You know, I never believed in that whole BS about Eagle hate. We're going to find out right here. Okay. Here's the Chiefs. Week 1, Chargers. Now, I think they're going to split. So I'm going to go win here. Philly. I got Philly winning that. No, I got Philly losing that. I got a revenge. That's 2-0. Those are two tough starts. Then you got the Giants. Layup. You got Baltimore. I say they lose. Jacksonville, they'll win that. That's 4-1. Detroit, go 4-2. The Raiders, that's 5-2. Washington, I think they'll beat them. That's 6-3. Buffalo, I think they win that. That's 7-3. Denver always plays them tough, but I'll split that. That's 8-3. Indy, they'll win that. That's 9-3. Houston, this is a pretty tough schedule. I'll say Houston beats them. That's 9-4. Chargers, I'll split it. It's 9-5. Tennessee, they'll kill that team. That's 10-5. Denver, I'm going to split that. That's 10-6. Vegas, another 11-7. Again, with the margin of error being 2 games. You understand what we're doing here? I'm looking at the rest of the league. Okay? There's nobody that I sit here. I mean, that Bills schedule blows my doorknobs off. That team made it to the AFC Championship game, and they're playing stiffs like that? Holy cow. Okay, hey senor, I forgot that you went to Rancho Cucamonga and got the great math education from the University of Rancho Cucamonga. And this guy, a Rhodes Scholar when it comes to being a mathematician. Hey, senor, show me your degree from Rancho Cucamonga University. I forgot. So here, I mean, the margin, dude, this season is going to come down to how deep your rosters are. Once again, and the Eagles weathered that better than any team in pro football last year. You know what you're never going to get out of me again? I got to play in the preseason. You got to get those guys. You're never going to hear that out of me again. You know why? They have been pretty much the last 5 years or 4 years I've been covering this bitch, the healthiest team of any team in the league. And it may play itself out like that. All right. So I got them at 11-6, but again, margin of error is 2 games. But then you look at the rest of the NFC, I don't see a dominant. I see the Detroit in the same room. I see the Rams in the same room. I don't really see Green Bay. And hey, by the way, if you're going to take a shit on Detroit for losing their coordinators, do you not give Washington credit for keeping theirs? Right? All right. This is a lot of fun. Boy, I'll tell you, the National Football League, man, they know what they're doing. They absolutely do. And I heard the guys talking this morning. Boy, I'll tell you what, man. A lot of people a little bit more pessimistic than even Big Sills. And with all that being said, by the way, Merrill Reese will join us. That'll be at 4:30. Without further ado, let's bring my boy in, man. He's doing a kick-ass job on Birds 365. My friend, Betsy Xander Krause.
What's up, Big Sills? How you doing, brother?
How you doing, dude?
I'm great, man. How you doing?
Initial takeaways on what you saw with the Eagle release of their schedule.
I'm feeling dangerous again, Sileo. I'm feeling good. Listen, I don't get no back-to-back home games.